Do they not know, like, when she was gone, it went back to the year before she...
This is Gilbert Arenas, a former NBA All-Star. And that was just the start of the forceful message he sent to the WNBA's detractors of Caitlin Clark. His caution was obvious. Individuals must pay attention. Internal conflict and player hostility could ultimately undermine the momentum Clark is helping to create, even as she continues to provide record-breaking television ratings, sell-out crowds, and enormous financial interest for the league every time she takes the court.
Got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face.
As negotiations for a new collective bargaining agreement get underway, WNBA players are currently facing the most important negotiations of their lives. As sportsmen publicly express their worries and get ready for a major confrontation, emotions are running high. But what might be happening could end up being one of the most significant strategic errors in sports history. Some people think the players are not entirely aware of the danger they are taking, which could potentially slow down the momentum. Caitlin Clark has contributed to the league's generation. Many of Clark's followers and pundits are already pointing out the larger picture, even though some players might not see it. Discussions have gotten so heated for a number of reasons, which we'll explain, that some fans are genuinely recommending that Clark think about starting her own league. That concept might have seemed unrealistic at the beginning of the season. However, given the course of events, some now think there's a real chance Clark would consider making significant moves of her own and might even feel obligated to. Let's examine more closely what former NBA player Gilbert Arenas recently stated, as well as the events that might affect Clark's future course of action. Watch through to the very end to determine whether the prediction is accurate. And before we go on, please support us and let us know what you think. Do you think Caitlin is real? Should Clark think about creating something original on her own?
I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility, for real.
Before the season had started, Angel Reese and DJ Jonai Carrington were speaking with assurance about the impending CBA discussions. And there was a strong online response. The question of whether WNBA players should be paid more was not the focus of the criticism. The majority of individuals concur that wage rises are both inevitable and warranted. After all, it's difficult to defend a system in which a generational celebrity like Caitlin Clark makes less money than many regular management jobs outside of the sports industry. The tone of the remarks, however, caught many onlookers off guard. What others saw as arrogance or a misinterpretation of the league's actual leverage at the moment. Many of that leverage, according to critics, is directly related to Clark's influence on ratings, attendance, sponsorships, and total income growth in the current environment. Instead of delving into financial statistics and figures, some people think that a single viral video encapsulated the entire discussion, demonstrating how polarized views have become on the negotiations.
She came into the league, obviously interest went way up and some of the finances went way up, but there was some argument that it was a little bit of, a rising tide lifts all boats. But here we go with Caitlin Clark, singularly, being missing for the time she was gone, and ratings tanking. 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got...
The reality that many analysts highlight is simple. Attendance and television ratings soar while Caitlin Clark is playing. Her absence frequently results in a discernible decline in viewership. Supporters now contend that the evidence speaks for itself. However, the idea that tensions among players have only become worse despite Clark being largely responsible for the league's current momentum has generated even more discussion. Discussions about jealousy have been more prevalent on social media and in sports talk shows, and some fans feel that rivalry has turned into pettiness. The WNBA's recent All-Star voting process, which rekindled discussions regarding player dynamics, performance, and popularity within the league, was the tipping point for many observers, including several media figures.
Ninth best guard in the league. Don't try to give me the excuses of, well, she's been struggling lately, or she missed some games with injury. Come on. This is insanity. And I think it's an activist vote by the women of the WNBA who simply cannot stand her success. It's so dumb and it's so childish.
In the most recent WNBA, Caitlin Clark led all players in total fan votes and got unprecedented support during the All-Star Game voting. She was rated 10th among guards, nevertheless, when the player ballots were tallied. Not players in general, but particularly in her role. Given that Clark finished 4th in the MVP voting the previous season and has proceeded to post similar numbers this year, many observers were taken aback by that outcome. Opponents don't regard her as the ninth best guard, even when she manages injuries on the court. She is frequently the main point of any defensive game plan and frequently confronts double teams as soon as she crosses half court. Here, former NBA player Gilbert Arenas' remarks are incorporated into the larger conversation. Critics contend that Clark runs the danger of offending the sizable fan following she has attracted to the WNBA with her public criticism or perceived slights. The league may find it difficult to turn short-term curiosity into long-term allegiance if those new viewers feel alienated or disengaged. Some fans of Clark have been more and more irate, with some even openly endorsing the notion that she should leave to pursue other chances. A us against them storyline between certain fans and the league has been exacerbated by this resentment. The potential for a player strike during ongoing labor talks adds another level of complexity to the situation. There is worry that if it were to occur, newly acquired fans may stop participating completely, which could hinder the league's current momentum at a crucial period.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The owner of a competing basketball league is negotiating the salaries of players who are playing in the league they're competing against? But KC, Unrivaled isn't competing with the WNBA. Unrivaled was launched so WNBA players had the opportunity to make six-figure salaries that they could never earn in the WNBA. I'm pretty sure that is the definition of conflict of interest.
Co-founders of Unrivaled, a distinct professional league supported by outside investors and a national media deal, are Breanna Stewart and Nafi Zakalir, two of the most powerful players in the WNBA labor talks. Numerous well-known WNBA players as well as up-and-coming talent have already committed to play. Some fans have expressed surprise at that dual position. In addition to representing WNBA players at the negotiating table, Stewart and Collier are developing a rival platform that might reduce dependency on the WNBA model or even compete with it. Critics contend that this overlap gives the impression of a possible conflict of interest, which instills doubt in younger supporters who are still deciding how to feel about the league's future. In particular, Caitlin Clark supporters fear that their involvement with the league may wane if they don't feel that she is completely appreciated or supported. And it's precisely because of this widening gap that remarks made by former NBA player Gilbert Arenas have drawn notice. Arenas sent a direct message that many feel the league should take seriously as it navigates this crucial period, given the escalating tensions over talks, accusations of jealousy, and inquiries about leadership objectives.
Enjoy and go on with it. Like, think about what they was getting paid before they said, Jordan, you're the guy. What do you think Magic and Bird and all them making? Do you know how much Charles Barkley was making his rookie year before the TV deals that Jordan brung in? If you're making $40,000, every 5 months, and now you're making 80, then just do your job
and vote for the person who got you there. Yeah, that's weird.
The largest error made by some athletes, according to former NBA guard Gilbert Arenas, is believing they can disparage or publicly attack Caitlin Clark without facing repercussions. Critics contend that rather than embracing the enormous fan base she has introduced to the WNBA, her remarks and on-court incidents, such as worries about officiating and aggressive play, have stoked animosity and fostered a "we versus them" mentality. As tensions over CBA talks, league protection, and player safety increase, some fans now believe Clark has a lot of power and may look into other options, including joining Unrivaled or other endeavors if sufficient improvements aren't made.